I'm trying to get more into fighting games recently, with 2XKO releasing at the end of last year, which really didn't hook me because all you ever saw was Yasuo and Echo every match to the point where it just wasn't even entertaining. And now with Invincible Versus releasing, I have something else to sink my teeth into and learn. My history of fighting games pretty much caps out at Smash Bros and maybe some Tekken 7 for a little while, not very long. So I decided I was going to share my journey of my first 100 games of Invincible Versus, so let's jump into the beginning. So when the game released, unfortunately that exact day I had to go away for a small while, so I downloaded it and did the tutorial, well, some of the tutorial, before leaving for 4 days, and when I got back I really thought that the tutorial would have stuck with me, and that I wouldn't need to go into the practice room and try out combos or anything like that. So I just went straight into ranked, and I can safely say the first match was me pretty much just button mashing. I didn't really know any of the moves for anyone, I didn't know how to use my bars or anything, so it was a complete dumpster fire, but luckily it seemed my opponent had even less of a clue than I did, which gave me some confidence, and I was already locked in on my lineup of characters no matter what. It was going to be the same three that you see right now. It was going to be Monster Girl, Rexplode and Duplicate. Now with these three I managed to get a nice win under my belt for the first placement, and the second game I went up against someone who seemed to know what they were doing for the most part because he was throwing me around so much, and while I was still pretty much button mashing, I was still doing so while taking in what certain moves did and trying to figure out the best time to use those moves in the future. And while this guy was laying me out, I somehow still managed to squeak out a win thanks to a level 3 on Rex's part. But I think the game saw me go for 2 for 2 and decided to throw me to the wolves because I slowly started to verse people who seem to have a grasp of the game, which is fine because to learn you've got to lose in games like these. And I think this game has some kind of issue because I clearly won 4 out of 10 of my placement games, which, don't get me wrong, it's not a good ratio, but I'll take considering I handicapped myself due to me not doing the tutorial. But the game is only saying I have 3 wins up to this point. Maybe it's a well-known glitch or they update it every so often. Not updating it after every game, I don't know, yeah, it's just weird. But that's my ratio so far, 4 out of 10. Don't believe what the game says, it's bullshit, yeah. With the first 10 games out of the way, I now know each of the characters' roles in my squad for the most part, and for me, I think it all revolves around Monster Girl as an initiator because she has some good armor on her moves, and her down medium has some good reach to it as well. And then Rex has some good range to him, and his assist is a good zoning tool or can lay a trap on the floor for me as well to make some ground. And Kate has some good mix-ups in her kits thanks to the clones. Now it's just a case of being able to actually use these characters well. But after my placements, the game decided Silver was the right place for me, which is fine, I happily took that. These matches went a lot worse for me. I was forgetting a lot of stuff in the heat of the moment in a lot of matches, like I wasn't using the combo breakers nearly as much as I should have been. I didn't really understand how to do the tag counter at this point, so a lot of opponents' combos were just never ending, almost 100 to 0 in me. And while I was forgetting how to do that, a lot of the opponents weren't forgetting and knew a lot of the mechanics quite well at this point. And this is only Silver, so I knew I had a lot of work to do. My usual strategy was to back myself up into a corner and soak up pressure while waiting for my time to strike, and while this isn't really a perfect plan, maybe it's not even a good plan, I felt comfortable blocking certain characters at this point because a lot of people didn't really have a way to counter a low block. Like, they had no answer for it at all. Even I didn't really have an answer for it yet. So I knew that people would get frustrated and throw out as much as they could possibly throw out, and that would always lead to a mistake. So my goal was to find the best and most optimal combo once I strike on that mistake. And if I have a level 3, I could always throw that out because in this game, level 3s are brutal. They take up so much health, it's mental. For me as well, a lot of matches did go into overtime, which works pretty well in this game, but a lot of people like to just time out if you're low health, which is the time for me that Rex is amazing. Yes, it's cheesy, but so is walking away, trying to time out, and yes, the next game I did the exact same thing. I just complained about, but in my defense, this guy was playing like a loser all game. He played Cecil and just spammed range attacks and stuff like that. And stuff like that could be took out this game and I would have a smile on my face, because range spamming games is so unfun. Now, I'm not saying it's broken, because as you saw I won, but it's just not fun. Other than that, a lot of these games consisted of me going up against people and getting my shit rocked, but I was learning what other characters' moves did. I just needed to find a way around them. I also needed to redo the tutorial and learn some of the more complex mechanics that others were using, which I did mainly to get the counter tag down once and for all. After 25 games, I won 11 of them and lost 14, which isn't great, but it could be a lot worse. At this point, I was starting to notice a trend in this game. It was the same issue I had with 2xKO, where I'm only seeing Invincible or Omni-Man, and then the third person is mixed like every game. I will see Mark and Nolan without fail, and it was just getting very tiring already. But what was I expecting? It's the main two guys, so I guess I can't complain about it too much. But I will, because I was sick of seeing them both. And I just wanted to see more variety, and that's for most fighting games. But I knew that was an uphill fight, and I'd probably keep seeing them till the game till the game dies, really. But in my own gameplay, I was starting to actually string along a few combos here, and tagging in at correct times to continue combos, and I think my Monster Girl skill was improving a fair bit, while my Kate and Rex was lagging a bit behind, but that's kind of how I expected this to go for me. I like to throw out her charge medium for some conditioning so that people were more wary to just try rush me down. And if they did rush me down and this move hits because it also gives armor, then that will lead into a full combo from her, which is pretty much half, if not an entire health bar, which I love. But there are still times where I dropped the combo for one reason or another, but the main reason is me just trying to do new stuff. Like I just said, my Rex and Kate were both letting me down because I didn't try to use them as much because I didn't trust myself with them enough. And while yes, I should have went into the training room to learn them more, I didn't. And instead, just knew I had to use them more in matches to learn them. And that resulted in a lot of awful losses because it seemed once Monster Girl went, the other two weren't that far behind. But with more and more time, I was actually improving at them both slowly but surely, and my confidence was slowly growing once again. I still got the really bad loss here and there because of dropping combos that were actually game winning, but I was also winning a fair few games as well. And the best thing was, I was actually starting to learn how to verse Invincible, because oh my god, every match you will see it. I was sick of it. I ended the 50 games with a rather bad set of matches because people were getting a lot better. Even though I wasn't moving LP very much, I had 32 losses and 18 wins, which the split is actually starting to get worse and worse. And like I said earlier, this was all thanks to my Kate and Rex skills, so I knew that. That was my target area. And to learn to actually finish my combos if I start them, because one drop combo in a fighting game actually makes all the difference from a win to a loss. Halfway done with this, and from the start to now, I would say there's been a massive improvement, but the good thing about fighting games is you can never stop improving, and that's what I was banking on, because while I have improved a lot, my win rate at this point still wasn't great, and I'll admit, at this point in time, I was jumping into the practice tool a bit more, but not nearly as long as I should have been. Something I was doing a lot was holding on to level 3s because it's almost impossible to miss your level 3 super if the enemy's just constantly trying to press you. Sure, if you whiff it, you will be punished bad, but for the most part, I'm pretty sure, unless you just randomly throw it out, you will not miss it. So there was that. And I was continuing to open with Monster Girl's low-medium attack because a lot of people aren't ready for it. And to be fair, it does come out pretty quick. Something that I wasn't doing though was using her armor to my advantage. other than her standing medium, I completely forgot she had armor built into her kit. So yeah, I was wasting her potential with that. A lot of people were using their tag attacks almost perfectly at this point as well. Something I couldn't get my little rat brain around. I mainly used Rex as a tag, as some range, and also to build some distance. But I never used like Monster Girls or Duplicates tag attacks, but when I'm low blocking, someone will now start to use their tag attacks, and even though it really doesn't look like it should, for the most part, I always get hit out of my block, which is my biggest flaw at the moment, is letting the tag attacks hit me. But people have such good mix-ups at this point, I don't know what I can do. Oh, and I'm still seeing Mark Invincible in every match. Some of them are even rocking skins now, which is just awful. Because even though I now know his moves, he seems to have so many mix-ups. And another person I'm now seeing without fail is Conquest. Like, a lot, almost too much. Maybe it's just Filtramites that I only see, but I'm not joking when I say I've probably seen like one Eve, one other K, 0 Elementals. And yeah, sure, people probably just don't have any kind of connection to any of these characters. But yeah, one Titan as well. I could just keep going. And I feel so confident in saying, in let's say 60 games, I have seen 52 Invincibles. Now, I could go through match by match and count, but I'm not going to do that. So that's just a random ass pull of a number, but I'm, you know, it's probably way closer than it should be. Anyways, my matches 50 through 75 weren't anything special. Just more trying to learn some Kate and Rex while letting Monster Girl do the heavy lifting. And my Kate was actually starting to improve more and more, making her my second best character by quite some margin now. But her losing health when she does her specials, I get it, sure, it's lore accurate, whatever. But she's the only one in this game whose ability comes at a great cost of health. And that in a fighting game, as quick paced as this, is insane. Especially when one combo in this game can do like 75% of your health if you don't have like your block ready or a tag counter, stuff like that. But yeah, that's my only gripe with her. There is also becoming a large amount of players that, you know, they'll have Conquest and Omni-Man, and they'll just use that air clap or wind push thing. It feels like you're just playing against Cecil. It's just like, it was becoming so boring. And I can happily say that when it came to range spam, I knew I could have done more against it, but it's so tilt into verse, I didn't care anymore. I just wanted the match to be over with. Which is bad on my part, but there's no point playing like an 80-second, probably longer, boring match. But I was also carrying out combos more effectively at this point. I was completing my combos more often than dropping them. And that alone was carrying me into some more decisive wins. With 75 games up, I lost 43 of them and won 32, which, while that doesn't sound great, that was actually really good because the split was starting to close. And it even meant I had a chance to go positive at the end of this, even with my stupid decision to start in ranked without doing any practicing, where, you know, my ego took a hold of me. This is it, the last stretch. Now, this is the time I knew how I had to lock in the most. I cannot go negative in my first 100 games, even throwing my first 5, 10, 15, help, first 40, I don't care. I cannot allow this to happen. So I entered the practice tool for about 30 minutes, which again isn't much time, but it's more time than ever before in this game. And I got to work. I even brushed up on some of my mechanics and started using the counter tag a fair bit more than I was before, which admittedly is really bad that I wasn't doing it as much before, but every game now for me was intense. It didn't matter who I was versing, I was giving it my all. And I was actually kind of putting belts ass, so I could only afford to lose 7 possible matches out of 25 here. And while that doesn't sound bad, trust me when I say one mistake in this game could cost you the match. And a couple of times it still did, but let's forget that for now. Like I was saying before, I was actually doing really well in these last 25 matches, and nothing has changed for me at all. When I say Monster Girl is still my MVP of the game. I even had matches where Rex and Kate died pretty early into the battle, and somehow I managed to 1v3 with Monster Girl. This match, for example, somehow I managed to squeak wins out of these kind of matches. I do think I was still playing pretty sloppy to the point where to get to that point, but fighting games aren't about you playing flawlessly. Sure, there is some of that, but it's more about punishing your opponents for making mistakes. And while I was making a fair few, my opponent was making even more, dropping combos, not punishing me for throwing out rogue attacks, and missing a level 3 was a turning point. So yeah, I was having matches like that when I was truly locked in. Something that didn't change about me was not liking Monster Girl's dash, the big hop towards or away from the enemy. Now, I'm not sure if it is, but it feels like it puts you in more danger than anything because it feels much slower than normal dashes and there isn't an upside to it, I don't think. But anyways, I was on my final match of the session and it was the unholy trio that I've been bitching about a lot of this video. Invincible, Omni-Man and Conquest, and well, this is how it went.
Eve tells me you're not as cool as you seem. It's gonna hurt.
Let's wrap this up. Oh, you did your best.
You know fireworks never me. Stop. Listen to me. You don't seem to understand. This battle isn't yours to win.
Got your present. I'm not gonna...
And after all that, yes, I went fucking negative. I did fight that guy at the end twice and beat him both times, so excluding the second one, I went 48 wins and 52 losses, which annoys me so much because the only person I can blame is myself. I wasted so many matches out of ego, but I can happily say that I felt like I improved so much at the end of the 100 games. I had 2,400 LP at the end of my placements, and at the end of the challenge I had 5,536 LP, which I was extremely happy about, but it was definitely a shame I didn't come out positive. But overall, I really enjoyed the challenge of playing this and trying to learn a new type of game. Now, I'm not going to glaze the game and say it's perfect, it's not, but it's a really good time where I did continue to play a bunch after my 100 games, and there were mechanics I did not even learn in this video, like delaying tags and high jumps and more stuff like that this game has, so it's got a fair bit of depth to it, but that depth also is squandered by seeing the same characters in every match or people just playing range spam, which grinds the game to a halt. Nowadays I'm 7,118 LP, which still isn't amazing or anything, but I'm happy with it. and I can't be bothered to push the ladder any further at this moment because the game at this point has lost all its fun value to me because of the things that I've mentioned earlier, and people constantly quit matches as soon as they go down to one character. But that's all I've got to say about this game, so thank you for watching, and the next video should be the Dota video, part 2, my 100 to 200 hours, which was a journey on its own as well. I've got tons more that I'm working on, and I'm not going to say it's going to be out soon or not or whatever, as I said this before and I was wrong. But yeah, thank you for watching. I'm recording this after I've finished editing the video and everything. It turns out I spent longer procrastinating, pushing off doing this video, because I did these 100 games, what, a week or however long after the game came out. It took me longer to figure out if I wanted to make this video than the game was actually live. Currently the game's, I think it's got 100 players on. So yeah, Invincible Versus, it didn't even last a month. It's dead. The game is buried, which is a shame, but I don't feel sad toward it. It's just whatever. But yeah, so I waited too long to put this video out, so it'll probably bomb, but yeah, I can't believe the game didn't even last more than 2 months. That is embarrassing.